Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. So people, when they're first starting self-publishing, they often ask or they want to know how quickly they can get to earning $100 profit every single day on Amazon. And it is actually quite an achievable task, well, very achievable task to be honest with you. And it's not as daunting as it sounds. So in today's video, we're going to break down exactly how you can do that. Go from earning $0 per day on Amazon KDP to earning $100 per day. So without further ado, let's get on into it. Right, so how do we do it then, Angelina?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
All right, so we're kind of using an example of using two books, meaning 4 streams of income. And the reason we say 4 is because each book can have both an ebook and, a paperback and an audiobook version. So you can also have an ebook and a hardback version, but for our books that we've always noticed that we tend to do the best with the paperback and the audiobook. So that's kind of what we're using as our sort of model for this example.
And this doesn't even take into account, as you say, the ebook. So
yeah.
With the ebook as well, you probably earn an extra 10% of your sales as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But just an example. So book 1, you're going to have 1 paperback and then 1 audiobook. And if you haven't done KDP before, it's actually a very easy process to get your book converted into an audiobook. Basically, there is a website called ACX, and there are hundreds of narrators on the platform, and you can get your book narrated for no more than $300. So an absolute bargain, to be honest with you, to get a whole brand new stream of income coming in. So paperback book 1, you want to be earning $25 per day because the target is to earn $100 per day. So if you divide that by 4, $25 per day. So let's just say on average, we're going to be earning a $6 royalty for every single book sale, because the average of our high content books that we're selling it for is usually around $13.99 or $14.99. If you take into consideration Amazon's printing costs, which is usually about $2.50, and Amazon's take of the sale, which is 40%, you're roughly left with $6 per sale on the lower end, on the conservative end. So if you're wanting to get to $25 per day, roughly it's 4 copies per day, and that is really not very hard to do as well, especially considering that the Amazon's demand every year for books is growing pretty rapidly. So to get 4 copies per day sold, you need to have a BSR of 70,000. And all the BSR stands for is bestsellers rank. Every single book on Amazon has a bestsellers rank. Number 1 is the best-selling book on Amazon, and number 70,000, for example, is the 70,000th best-selling book on Amazon. So it's not really that hard to get a BSR of 70,000. And how you find this out is you go to Kindlepreneur Sales. If you literally type in Amazon BSR calculator or Kindlepreneur Sales calculator, and you type in the BSR and you type in the BSR, and then it gives you how many sales per day that book is making. So 70,000 is selling 4 copies per day.
Yeah, cool. So then obviously that's your paperback for the first book, and then you're also going to have your audiobook out. So again, the goal here is going to be $25 per day. So with Audible, depending on the price bracket that you're in, your royalty is going to be around $3.50. And I think that would be for the lowest bracket, which is, the middle bracket actually, which is 3 to 5 hours. God. In that bracket, you want to be selling 7 a day to hit that, or roughly 7 a day to hit that $25 per day. So again, you can use the Kindlepreneur Sales calculator to figure out that for that, the BSR you would need to hit on Audible is 23,000. So those are the stats you would need for the first book.
And to be honest with you, 23,000 isn't that hard on Audible. I know it sounds like a lot more, obviously because the lower the BSR, the more sales you're having to make per day. Mm-hmm. But because the competition on Audible is so low, getting your book ranking, getting your book selling on Audible is actually quite an easy feat. Yeah. Especially considering they give you 50 free promo codes. So this is something which a lot of people don't know about Audible. So when you have your book first live on Audible, they give you free promo codes, 25 on the UK site, 25 on the US site. You can then give your audiobook out to whoever you want to, or you can use sites like BookBite to actually get these codes redeemed, and then you can get someone to listen to your audiobook for free, and then they can give you a review in the audiobook, which makes it even easier to rank and to get selling. So both paperback and audiobook are a fairly easy feat. And all we need to do then is
double that.
So it's really simple as that. So with book 2, you're again going to have a paperback, and you're going to have 1 audiobook, and you aim for $25 per day. on both paperback and audiobook. Again, as we said, it's fairly simple to get a BSR of 70,000 on paperback and 23,000 on audio. So a lot of people, when they're coming into this, $100 per day seems like a huge milestone, and that's $3,000 per month, so pretty good income. And a lot of people panic and they think they have to publish 10 books, 20 books, 30 books. And that's just not the reality of it. You need to focus on just 1 or 2 books. Make sure they're selling well, or to be honest with you, so make sure they sell just averagely, and then you're going to hit $100 per day.
And actually, that is kind of a good point as well. So in terms of like people coming in and feeling like they need to publish 10 books at once, this is actually something that we try to really tell all of our students now, is to focus on quality over quantity, because you could publish 10 books, but if they're all crap, none of them are going to do well. And then you've just wasted your time creating 10 books, as opposed to really, really honing in on 1 or 2 books initially, making sure you're doing like all of the steps correctly, doing the really good keyword research and all that, which actually kind of leads into our next slide. Oh, sorry, it's not in the next slide. We'll get onto it in a minute. Anyways, we'll get onto that in a bit. But quantity over quality. Sorry, quality over quantity for sure.
What we just said was that you don't want to be publishing 10 books all at the same time when you're first starting KDP. And that is so, so true. But if you're coming into this with a long-term mindset, which we definitely recommend people to do when they're coming into Amazon KDP, is that eventually you do want to get to that 10 book mark, 20 book mark, etc. And that's when your income can really start to build on top of each other. And publishing 10 books in a year, if you're committing a lot of time and effort into this, is very, very possible. In fact, it's probably quite easy to do. And 10 books gives you 20 streams of income, 1 audiobook and 1 paperback book, not even including the ebook, to be honest with you. And if you can think about it, if we said 1 stream of income is $25, we can times 20 by $25 equals $15,000 per month. And over the course of a year, that is very possible. And a lot of people can get to that level if they do everything properly. So finally, as you said at the bottom, you don't need to reinvent the wheel in order to make Amazon KDP work. You just need to do the simple things well and repeat them. So hopefully that gives you kind of ideas how you can quite easily scale this business. So the big question is, how do you get there?
So we've just got a few points here on the main sort of things that you really should be focusing on. And just like we said, everything should always be high quality. So you should have really high quality keyword research if you want to make sure that you're actually finding those niches that are going to be profitable, and also don't have too much competition. And then you want to really make sure, something that we actually didn't put in here but kind of should speak for itself, is that your actual book that you're producing needs to be very high quality. Like, that is a super obvious one, which is maybe why we kind of forgot to put it in the bullet points. But if you're producing a shitty book, no one's going to want to keep buying it when you start getting bad reviews on it. So good keyword research, really producing good books, and then also amazing covers. So you obviously want something that's going to appeal to your audience. You don't want it to be ugly, which kind of is maybe obvious as well, but it's very subjective. So you want to make sure that you're asking people as well, like, about what they think of your cover, because you shouldn't ever just take your own word for it, because you might, I don't know, really love a cover, but everyone else doesn't. And we've had this happen to us multiple times where especially me.
Where you've loved a cover and you're so convinced that was the cover to go for.
And then we sent it out to like our friends and family, and they all liked a different one. And I was like, all right, I guess I have to accept defeat here. But yeah, point being, you should definitely take into consideration other people's opinions.
Yeah, and then next is reviews. So if you've watched any of our either YouTube or TikTok before, we bang about reviews quite a lot because they're so important to any publishing business on Amazon. You need to make sure you have a lot of reviews and good quality reviews. Advertising, so you need to have an advertising campaign running for your book indefinitely. People worry about this part quite a bit because they think they're just going to be throwing money down the drain. If you set up your advertising campaign correctly, it will be bringing in sales, obviously, and then it will counter the money that you're spending on it. And there's just so many good things about advertising for your book to actually do well. It will help the organic ranking. The more sales you get through the advertising campaign, your organic ranking will increase, and therefore the more organic sales you'll get. And just finally, A+ content and good SEO.
Yeah, so A+ content is super, super important. It's a great marketing tactic. So with Amazon, they basically have a feature where you can look underneath the book. So you go to a book's page and you scroll down a little bit, and there's basically, should we just actually pull it up really quick? I feel like this could be a good thing to look at. But basically, you just, let's see if this random one has A+ content on it. Okay, here we go. So basically, all A plus content is a marketing tactic, but when somebody scrolls onto your book's page and goes down, you basically can add these sort of infographics to give the reader more information about what they can find inside the book, and it's just a really good selling point, and it also makes the page look a lot more professional and polished by having that there as compared to books that don't have them there. So it's something that should definitely be taken advantage of, and a really great opportunity to market your book, really. So yeah, that's just another thing to really pay attention to and make sure you're taking advantage of that as well.
And then just finally SEO. So SEO stands for search engine optimization. It's the process that Amazon uses to rank books or to show books to the right customers, basically. You need to make sure that you have appropriate and relevant keywords in your actual title, in your subtitle, and in the description as well. That kind of signifies to Amazon what your book is about, and therefore when a customer types in a particular search term, for example, investing, then if you have investing in your title, they're going to match that up and then show your book to your customers. So you need to have good SEO as well. So yeah, those are the 6 kind of, well, actually 7, because we included about having a great book, which kind of is self-explanatory. But there's 7 reasons or 7 ways you can have a really good book that's going to be selling at least $25 per day on the book, paperback, and also the audiobook as well.
Yeah, definitely. Sweet. That kind of wraps it up for this video, guys. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, post them in the comments below, and we will try to respond to you. And again, if you have any topics or anything you want us to cover, feel free to post those in the comments as well, and we will see you in the next one.
And don't forget, guys, make sure you're joining our Facebook group.
Yes.
So our Facebook group, our free self-publishing help group community, has gone live last week. So join that, and then we can help you along your way.